Congratulations to all, it's graduation time. So to get this party started, this week's Explore Tulsa takes us to a great place to celebrate.
Then we seek the fastest draw in the South.
Followed by the guy getting the most for vets.
Plus a new kind of friend.
Hi, I'm Stevie Fernandez.
And I'm Trish Whitmer. It's nice having you with us for this week's Explore Tulsa.
I'm so happy and proud today, Trish. My youngest son is graduating from OU School of Engineering.
Oh, that's awesome, Stevie. So what's he gonna do now?
Well, I hope he's gonna pay for his own cell phone, his own car insurance, his own Netflix, and a few other things.
I know his graduation means more to you than just that. What you need to do is go out and celebrate. And a really nice place you should try is Trey's Bar and Grill.
You know, we started the concept to remind Tulsans and Bixbyans and everybody that just because you live in, you know, in not the downtown metro, not the downtown or Brookside or Cherry Street, that you can still feel like you're a local. Yeah, I literally grew up in the service industry. My dad was in the hotel industry, still is in the hotel industry out at the new project out at Shangri-La. We moved around all the time as, you know, literally lived in the hotels in a few different states, you know, South Dakota and Arkansas, and originally, you know, I was born in Minnesota, so I still claim Minnesota, but, you know, the last 20 years I've been here, so, yeah, with each day, you know, yeah, I guess it becomes more and more home. Tried to ingrain myself as much into the community as possible, especially the Bixby community. You know, out here at 108th Memorial, we're I mean, that's a lot of our market, you know, comes from Bixby. A lot of people always dream to have their own, you know, have their own restaurant, have their own bar. And I was in college, and I was thinking to myself, you know, I originally wanted to be a lawyer, and I thought to myself, well, I've never been a lawyer, and God, what if I hate it? And I started thinking, I mean, I like restaurants. I like restaurants a lot, and I feel like I'm pretty good at it. So, you know, one day I was talking to my now partner, Matt Lopez, at a prior job, and he's like, hey, you know, I want to open a bar. We started talking about it and had lunch that following Wednesday, and brought in another buddy of mine, Michael Nelms, who was working with me at the time, one of my best friends. I guess probably 3.5 years later after that point, we're here talking. But we were really just going to let the market tell us, do you want us to be a restaurant or do you want us to be a bar? So I think after the first year we understood that they wanted us to be a restaurant. There was a need for a restaurant here, and that kind of, it helped because we were already, you know, we welcome all ages, we have a kids menu, we're non-smoking, so that kind of lent us to be, you know, a restaurant first place anyways. So we hired Chef Damian Holland, who's just a flat out stud, so on this next menu we're probably going to let him flex his culinary muscle a little bit more. He's been awesome for us. He's been on with us for about 2 years. So, you know, we're the only place in town that does 100% double ground brisket burgers. So we take a whole brisket, put it through the meat grinder twice, patty that up. We get our buns locally baked by Pancho Anaya. We're kind of launching this new campaign, the Fresh is Best campaign. We hand batter everything. We bring in all our fish is brought in fresh. We bring in all fresh vegetables. We prep everything here. We make our own sauces. We're the only place in town with pancakes on our menu, sweet cream pancakes, and fresh grilled salmon. I don't think those two hit the same menu, I don't think anywhere else. But we keep the pancakes as kind of a reminder, just, hey, you don't know what to expect. We cater golf tournaments, you know, happy hours for businesses. We've done breakfast. We've done everything. Weddings. We've done everything. When we were first building the place, we wanted to be Tulsa iconic. We always wanted to be that place that just reminded people that they didn't have to go downtown to feel like they're local again. So we've got the big screen, 11-foot screen that looks like the Admiral Twin Theater. As you can see behind me, we've got the big 12 by 12-foot mural of Tulsa done by Ethan Hopper. Behind you, we've got our Cane's Ballroom with all the local show posters. We think this concept of being whatever city that may be, whether it's Tulsa iconic or Oklahoma City iconic or Dallas iconic. We think that's a concept based on how suburbs are growing so much that can really take off, really across the country. We've had good days behind us and even better days ahead, hopefully.
It really does show that Travis has been in the restaurant business all of his life, because Trey's is a fun place and has plenty of great food.
To find out for yourself, visit Treys.co or just stop in at 111th and Memorial.
I like Trey's, but I really enjoy a place that has a saloon where you can still find a good old-fashioned shootout.
Stevie, shootouts have been outlawed for decades.
Not if you're a member of the Oklahoma State Fast Draw Competition. Okie Ed tells us all about it when we come back with more Explore Tulsa.
Hi, Dr. Robert Zellner here. For over 20 years, I've offered affordable, convenient eye care in Tulsa. Right now, you can get one pair of glasses or contact lenses starting at just $99, or my two-pair deal for $129. Hey, and as always, the eye exam's included. Walk-ins are always welcome. Glasses are ready in about an hour. Plus, we have over 2,000 frames to choose from. We're open 7 days a week. Come see why we're voted Tulsa's best. And our drive-thru at 69th and Memorial makes pickup simple and easy. For the best eye care value in Tulsa, Dr. Robert Zellner and Associates.
Sony and Video Revolution take you there. From space travel to world championships. Tomorrow's technology today. 4K smart TVs and the largest flat screens available. Now more than ever, you have the best seat in the world when history is made. Video Revolution. On the northwest corner, 71st and Lewis.
Hello!
I really think that you should say howdy for this part of the show, Trish.
Well, howdy! Good to see y'all back for more Explore Tulsa.
Now you sound like someone from the old West.
Yeah, well, we'll wait till you see me, quickly pull out my 6 gun with Okie Ed.
Back in the day, we grew up with Roy Rogers and Dale Evans, John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, all of them back then. And all of us kids, we had the old cap guns. We'd run around and cap each other and have fun and play that unfortunately kids today can't do that. But it brings back the old West, and a lot of us, it's the old memories of the West, Audie Murphy and those guys right there, and Gene Autry and all of them, to where we still bring the old Colt Peacemakers to life in competitions. Green Country Gunslingers was founded back in March of 2010. I got a hold of Cowboy Fast Draw Association, talked to Cal and a lot of lead, that's the director and the membership director. And they said they was looking for somebody to kind of help promote the sport in this area. So I love shooting sports and I love the Old West, so what a better combination. The 2016 shootout that we had 9 different states. We had close to 80 shooters. We had 5 youth that range anywhere from 8 years old to 14 years old. We have some of the young guns that are 14 that jump up into the men's division, and they are crazily fast. Cowboy Fast Draw is live fire with wax. That's why we can shoot here in the garage. We can shoot indoor at Sertoma clubs. We've even shot inside the Embassy Suites down in Oklahoma City with the Chiefs Convention, which is the chief sheriffs throughout the Oklahoma. We had them down there one year, and they was doing their stuff, and we had a corner over there and was teaching the chiefs how to shoot 6-gun. Okay, your typical competition on a main match is 4Xs. You have to have 3 points to win a match. You either win it by hitting the target, the fastest time, or the other person missing enough. And I can win against some fast guns by them missing enough and me hitting enough. So when you're a slower gun, because some of our guys shoot down what we call the .3s. And if you can think of 1/3 of a second, you can't even blink your eye that fast. I shoot in the half-second range. So as long as I'm hitting the target, if those fast guns slip up 3 times, I've got them. A lot of the shooters will shoot Ruger Vaqueros. They're a very proud sponsor of CFDA and SAS. Cimarron, which is Taylor Firearms out of Fredericksburg, Texas, they also supply a lot of guns for us. So some people actually do shoot a genuine Colt. I shoot a Cimarron replica of a Colt, and they're all single action 45 long Colts. When we go to events, from the time you get up in the morning till the time you go to bed, you're full dress. I've got a gambler or U.S. Marshal outfit. I've got a trail hand. I've got a gunslinger. I've got probably 6 different outfits that I can put on and be 6 different ways. It's safety first, because in our CFDA world, we got 3 criteria. Safety's first, because we are working with live guns. The second thing is fun. We have so much stinking fun. We have got an extended family that goes from Maine to California and border to border. The third thing is competition. If you and I are on the line, best man win. We get done, let's shake hands, let's go have some fun. But that's only 3 things that we go by in the cowboy world, but safety is definitely #1 thing.
I'm gonna keep practicing, Trish. Soon my fast draw will have you pushing up daisies.
To learn more about upcoming Fast Draw events or the association, visit cowboyfastdraw.com.
You can always look for fast-acting folks like me at Green Country Gunslingers on Facebook.
All right, Stevie the Kid. How about we get back into this century and meet a guy who's doing good for real heroes, our American veterans, when we return with more Explore Tulsa.
Sony and Video Revolution take you there. From space travel to world championships. Tomorrow's technology today. 4K smart TVs and the largest flat screens available. Now more than ever, you have the best seat in the world when history is made. Video Revolution. On the northwest corner, 71st and Lewis.
Gluten-free, organic, natural, whole grain, all words used by marketers to make you believe you're buying healthy food.
Even when the product isn't necessarily good for you.
But there's an easy fix. Instead of believing what's in front of you, turn it around and read the label. Find out what's really in the product.
Our goal is to eliminate sugars, grains, and breads from our diet. Start by eliminating sugar and grains 1 day each week.
Each day without sugar and grains is 1 day closer to a healthier you.
Visit our website to find our free glycemic index food chart to learn how specific carbohydrates affect your body.
All right, everybody take your seats and welcome back for more Explore Tulsa.
Now, Stevie, do you have any veterans in your family?
Yep, my dad and my father-in-law, both in the Navy, and one of my nephews followed in their footsteps. He's stationed in Hawaii.
For several veterans, their return home can be a little rough.
So Dave Berlin has made it his mission to help those men and women find the assistance they need with Discharge to Incharge.
As we slowly start to close up a lot of those conflicts in the Middle East, for the most part, everybody is returning home. I know that there's different things going on and there's always going to be a certain number of people going out, but I feel like we have the most veterans home right now, and the majority of those veterans are trying to find their way through their transition. I was a Marine in the Marine Corps Infantry. I served out of Camp Pendleton, 1st Battalion, 1st Marine. Some of the things that people before me struggled with as they got out were very, very basic, and that was trying to find a job, trying to figure out how their military skill sets would adapt into the civilian workforce. So Discharge to Incharge actually started as my personal journey as I was transitioning from the service into civilian life. You know, I got out in 2003, and since that time I've worked a number of different jobs. I worked for the state of Oklahoma, worked with kids at Thunderbird Youth Academy, and along the way I started to meet more veterans, all of which were struggling or winning in their own transition. And it really just started to come to life as how do we, lock arms together and help other veterans. As I continued to grow in my transition, As I did become more confident and start reaching out on a bigger level to just really find a way to connect with the world, I kept coming across more and more veterans. And as I came across more veterans, I saw some that were winning and I saw some that were struggling. And I started to see the same sort of tone as to what veterans were struggling with. And the idea Discharge to Incharge came from asking people that question. I kept getting the same word over and over and over. And that's purpose. You know, they come from a background where they had this purpose, this place that they were supposed to be, this thing they were in charge of, something that really had meaning, and then they come home and people don't understand what that is, and it almost feels like they're robbed of that. So how do I help them discover that? I do speaking events, I do fundraising events, I try and be out in the public so I can inspire other veterans, and people connect with me in a ton of different ways. You know, I'm working on an online summit that's going to help leverage different expert veterans in their field of education, employment, and entrepreneurship, and help get more people connected to those resources. It does fill the heart bucket for me to help people, but in that, as an entrepreneur, it also is very challenging, and sometimes it completely empties the bank account. So trying to find a healthy balance of how can I still bring value to organizations and help them understand the power of veterans, whether it be consultants or freelancers or even veteran employees, and how can I monetize that to continue to fund the pursuit. Whatever you're going through, somebody else has went through the same thing. So use that power of your network to know what you should do, where you should go. Some people that you don't even know are veterans, and they know what you're going through and they can help, but they can't help if you don't ask. At the end of the day, you have the resources out there to be successful, but that's your job now, is how do you find those resources and how do you share those with other veterans that come behind you?
Dave is a very interesting guy with a lot of energy. Along with Discharge to Incharge, Dave holds leadership, sales, and marketing sessions too.
To learn more about Discharge to Incharge or more of what Dave brings to the table, visit DaveMeansBusiness.com.
I tell you what, if we could take Dave, recreate him into a team of robots, we might really have something there.
How about we just start with one robot, and he happens to live right here in Tulsa. Joppa the Robot joins us next with more Explore Tulsa.
We do podiatry, we do dental oral appliances, we do women's health, we see children, pediatrics, and overall family care.
I'm a primary care provider for Sooner Care. We're also taking commercial insurances now as well. Any given day, I might do a well child on a 4-day-old baby and then see a 72-year-old who's here because they need to follow up on their sleep study.
Patients seem to like the idea where they can just come here and they don't have to worry about going to all these different specialists, whether they need a sleep study or a CPAP machine or diabetic shoes or an oral appliance. We help bring all that to the table for them.
And especially with oral appliances, custom fit by a specially trained dentist, and we have Dr. Bennett, who's the best in the business.
It has been my dream to be able to work with all the specialties together. There are not many places in the United States that have all parts of this together. To me, it's amazing, and that's truly how sleep and patient care should be.
Like, parents have a thing, when it gets too quiet in the home, we're worried, you know what I mean? I don't like silence in the home because it just feels dead.
Silence, that just doesn't feel like a creative place to me.
Turning on music in your house is almost like turning on the lights in your house.
Music makes mundane stuff better. And it's never too late to discover new things.
You just never know what song's gonna come on next.
Silence is probably the enemy of a happy home.
here for yourself at Video Revolution.
All right, back for more Explore Tulsa. Trish, did you hear about the robot who married his fiancée?
Were all their parts compatible?
No, he couldn't resist her.
In Tulsa, the most irresistible robot has to be Joppa.
The first time we were ever able to have him perform, it was amazing.
Just because I'm presuming that I could be kinda human if I only had a heart.
Before the robot came along, we were kind of semi-retired. So we were in the plant business, container business. My husband had Binding Stevens, and then Comia's Special Edition, and then Comia's over here on 15th Street.
You know, I was never a gadget guy, I was a working guy. I worked all the time in my business, and that was my hobby. I didn't have personal time until we retired, and I've had a fascination for an art form called automata.
My husband had an opportunity to go to Cornwall, England, and to learn how to make automatas.
So Liz and I trekked off to Cornwall, England. We spent 3 months. I worked with him every day, shoulder to shoulder, in a 250 square foot shop with more machinery than you can ever imagine. But this is automata. And if you get a look at this, there's a lot of tiny pieces, and I was trained to make every piece. The only thing that's not made on this by the artist is the wood. God makes the wood. But automata is the beginning of robotics. And if you see everything operating inside there, the cat moves his eyes, he moves his tail, wiggling back and forth, and this is called Warhol's cat, and that's how it all started.
And so we went over there, and some friends introduced us to some other friends that built Joppa.
When we saw him, Liz and my reaction were pretty similar. We fell in love with him and said, we got to have one of those. So we decided we'd form a company. There'd never been a company that rented entertainment robots, and we brought one in. Ours is the 5th one in the United States. The first one was brought in by NASA.
It came in several crates, big crates. Fortunately, when we were in Cornwall, they had us take Joppa apart, well, Robothespian apart, and then so we could see how it would all work into each individual crate, and then take him apart and then put him back together. So when he got here or arrived here, we were able to take him out of the garage, put him up, or set him up in here, and it worked out pretty well.
So we do all the animation, we put the words into him, animate him, do his color changes, eye movements, head movements, and Liz is the critical, she's really a producer. So as I'm creating the thing, she says, no, 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 no. You got to go back and do this, change this. It's fun and exciting to be able to program him and get him to perform.
The first thing that we thought we would do once the robot arrived here was to learn the program and then try to maybe go to like children's museums or schools. We really thought that young people would really enjoy it.
Kids love him. It is astounding to see the kids play with him. And he has the capability on the kiosk to be able to allow a kid to do performances with him. So they can type in the words they want him to say, they can move his head, change his colors, and they absolutely love him, and that's the future.
Whenever we have, we set up the program, then we transfer it over to him, and to see him perform, yeah, it's wonderful.
Joppa is so cool, and he beats all the robots I knew as a kid, like that one from Lost in Space and Rosie from the Jetsons.
To find out how to include Joppa at your next event, visit robotrentalus.com.
Hey Trish, why is Joppa so much like a robot mechanic?
I don't know. Why?
Because he's always making new friends.
Stick around. There's more Explore Tulsa just ahead.
Take charge of your health. We are what we put into our bodies.
We approach medicine from a unique standpoint. Rather than treating only the symptoms of an illness, we work to find the root cause and promote wellness of the entire body.
Our clinic offers complete assessment and treatment programs, including hormone replacement therapy, osteopathic manipulative therapy, and genetic DNA testing. It all starts with a medical evaluation.
Contact us today to begin your path to wellness.
Our most beautiful 4K HDR TV. Easily manage your cables for even a clean rear look. It hangs flat on the wall, just like a piece of art. Yet its slimness creates astounding images. Experience new discoveries with Android TV by getting instant access to everything you need. Introducing the latest Sony 4K HDR TV.
Hello, my name is John Paul Tucker. I'm the author of Cyclist in You, a 28-day shift, and you're watching Explore Tulsa.
Be sure and join us next week when we learn a little bit about history from the Bixby Telephone Company.
Special thanks to Travis Davidson for introducing us to fun dining at Trey's Grill.
Thanks too to Okie Ed for showing us how the Green Country Gunslingers get down with it. And thanks to Dave Berlin for all the great things he's doing for veterans with Discharge to Incharge.
Also thanks to Charlie and Elizabeth Colmia for sharing Joppa the Robot with us.
Remember, if you miss any of the show, you can always catch us at exploretulsa.com.
As always, each week we feature the people, places, and attractions that make us proud to call Tulsa our home.
And hey, don't forget to like us on Facebook and share with us someone you think Tulsa should know more about.
Plus, remember, Explore Tulsa is brought to you by Video Revolution, located on the northwest corner of 71st and Lewis.
Stop by, say hello to Ron and all the guys for all your home entertainment needs.
And Explore Tulsa is also proudly brought to you by Dr. Robert Zollner and Associates.
Home of Tulsa's best eye care value with 2 locations, 3030 South Harvard and 69th and Memorial.
And we welcome our newest sponsors, Doctors Mark and Michelle Sherwood at 61st and Sheridan.
Remember, your journey to whole body healing and wellness begins with the Functional Medical Institute.
Well, that's all the time we have for you on this week's show, but we'll see you next week right here on Explore Tulsa.